Hey everybody, it's Alan Brochstein coming to you from Houston, Texas to talk about cannabis stocks. Boring, I know. Um, this week we got news out of Illinois for their September sales, and they were basically flat from September, which is flat for September, which was up a little bit on a per day basis, and it was up only 4.3% from a year ago. I did write an article. The stock did fall like all the stocks this week, but the stock was on the Cannabist company. I wrote this at Seeking Alpha. You can read it for free. And what is the Cannabist company? It's Columbia Care. And I wrote about it in February, talking about how if the deal didn't go through, which I thought it would go through, I said then, and I did think it would, but I said if it doesn't go through, then Columbia Care can do better. And there's a lot that happened, but the deal didn't go through, and it immediately started to do better. And then, of course, we got the rescheduling, potential rescheduling news, and it soared. And I had no position for a while. I've used this big drop to get back in, and I bought more after that article came out too. In terms of cannabis stocks that I follow, there are 26 names that I follow for my subscribers at 420 Investor, and there was news on, it looks like 8 of them this week. Canopy Growth closed the sale of their Smith Falls facility for $53 million, which is pretty good, but it doesn't matter, unfortunately. I don't think that's enough for them to make a difference. They have a lot of debt and not a good business. Cresco opened a new Pennsylvania dispensary. Curaleaf closed its $16 million capital raise. I don't think that matters much. Lowell, this was big news, and I sometimes wonder why anybody subscribes to me right now. It's not a good time to be a cannabis investor. Maybe it will be if the rescheduling goes through in the way it's expected, and if 280E goes away. So I don't want to scare you off, but I will say that I follow companies very closely, and I'm probably the only guy on the planet that's covering Lowell. It's very small. And I had something to say before, and I had something to say afterwards. And I'll leave it at that. You can read New Cannabis Ventures if you want to know what happened this week. You can subscribe to 420 Investor if you want to know what that means. All right. The next one, we're up into the T's. Trulieve lost Steve White. Who's Steve White? He was the CEO of Harvest, and which was acquired by Trulieve, and he resigned. And he's staying on as an advisor for now, but for a brief amount of time. Tilray had results that were out, and I'll just let you read. I don't think there's any reason to be long Tilray, but I've spoken about that too much. Urban Grow announced more contract wins, both within cannabis and outside of cannabis, but the stock did not act well. And then finally, Verano said that they're going to be on the CBOE Canada. That's the NEO. CBOE bought NEO. And they said they've been conditionally approved. They also announced their 71st Florida dispensary. So that was the news. What happened to the market this week? It was bad. I'm not that surprised. A little preview of the new Cannabis Ventures weekly newsletter, which will be published tomorrow morning. The title, I think, it's not final yet, but we're still in a bear market. And I do think we are in a bear market. Maybe it's over, but we're not in a bull market. And some people thought that we were, we've pulled back a lot, and we are down year to date. Down year to date when the S&P 500 is up. It's kind of crazy. But this week, the S&P 500 was up 0.4%, but we fell, the global cannabis stock index fell 7.4%. And like I said, year to date, the S&P 500 is up 12.2%. We're down 12.6%. That's a huge spread. That's really it for the market. I run 2 model portfolios. I'm not real happy with how they're doing. Historically, every quarter, every year, I do better than the index. This year, no. I'm close, but that's not good enough. The Global Cannabis Stock Index model portfolio that I run is called Beat the Global Cannabis Stock Index. It was down 7.2% this week, so a little bit less than the market. And it's down, though, 13.4% year to date. That's worse than the 12.6%. So a big waste of time. It's a lot of time, a lot of trades. But I can explain why I'm lagging the market. You can probably guess, but I'll leave that for now. And in the YouTube video, I have a link to the what I put out last night. I put it out every Friday night. And in that, it talks about the exact trade, well, not exact. It doesn't say the price or the amount, but it talks about the trades that I did, every trade that I put in during the week. And you'll see I exited a name or two and added a name or two this week. And then the other model portfolio, I've been running that other one with a different name really for over 10 years. But this year, after I left Bad Zynga and started up at Seeking Alpha, or was preparing to, I launched on 12/31 a new model portfolio. It's called Beat the American Cannabis Operator Index, and it's not. And my secondary goal there, and kind of what drove me, was here I am very critical of MSOS. And I always say it's by idiots, for idiots. And I stand by that. And I'm not saying if you own it that you are an idiot, but I'm saying you're highly unaware that you can do better. You can either copy them if you think that they're doing it the right way, or you can create a better portfolio. Now, you might say to me, well, Alan, your portfolio is a little bit behind the MSOS. How can you say it's better? I don't measure it by how it's done. You've seen a sports game before. The baseball team that's losing in the 8th inning can win in the 9th inning. A football team that's losing even in the 4th quarter can come back and win. Even if I don't win this year, it's okay. I think that MSOS stinks. I'll leave it at that. But the American Cannabis Beat the American Cannabis Operator Index lost 9.3% this week. That was better than the index, and it was better as well than MSOS. So I did make some progress, but I am behind year to date. I conclude these with an outlook for this week, and I'll give you a free tip here. Don't bother listening. But this week, TerraSend is having an analyst day. Why do I say don't bother listening? I think the stock is sky high relative to peers. Sky high. I don't own any in my model portfolios, and I highly recommend to my subscribers that they avoid it for now. It's a good company, in my opinion. It should be at a premium. The premium is too large now. So I'll leave it at that. Y'all have a great week. Take care.